West Virginia Interim head basketball coach Josh Eilert has officially announced his coaching staff, and it's a lot of young guns on this staff. Mountaineer Paul and I are going to talk about it right after this word from our sponsor.
This episode of Hoops from the Hills is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-owned vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you.
What is going on, Mountaineer fans and college basketball fans? This is Couz.
And my name is Mountaineer Paul.
And we present to you
Hoops from the Hills, baby.
We are here today, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're a little bit late to the party here, but, we've both been very busy. It's a holiday weekend, so there's a lot going on in our lives right now. But we still wanted to take this opportunity to talk about and give you our thoughts on the recent announcement about West Virginia's assistant basketball coaches. And I'm going to kind of read a little bit from the write-up, the article that West Virginia did on their own website, wvusports.com. Do a screen share here, and hopefully you guys can see it along with us. But it says, Eilert announces 23-24 men's basketball staff. West Virginia University interim head men's basketball coach Josh Eilert has announced his staff for the 23-24 season effective today. And this article was written on July the 2nd. Deshaun Butler, DerMarr Johnson, Jordan McCabe, and Alex Ruoff will be assistant men's basketball coaches. Ron Everhart will transition to Director of Community Relations and Player Outreach. Jay Kuntz will continue as the Director of Player Personnel and Recruiting. Trent Michaels will be the Director of Men's Basketball Operations. Jared Kortson will be the Video and Scouting Coordinator. And Tyler Chang will remain the athletic data statistician for men's basketball. Now, that article continues on. I'm not going to read it all. I just wanted to, touch on each assistant coach, and then Paul and I are going to talk about it. So, Paul, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, let's go on the pro side of things first. You've got probably the third greatest player in the history of the program behind Hot Rod and Jerry West and Deshaun Butler. And I think he represents the greatest era that we in the modern day know of West Virginia basketball. That 2010 team, really good basketball team, good enough to win a national championship most years. He was the centerpiece of it, all-time leading scorer. And he's a guy that knows how to win. He's a guy that has kind of done it all. He's done the pro thing. He's coached different little spots, and I think he's ready to take the next step. And you think about it, man, he's a guy who would really start to fantasize about maybe getting this job someday down the road if Josh Eilert doesn't work out, or maybe he moves on, or whatever it is, because these are West Virginia guys. I think that's the most important thing about it all. And the crazy thing about it is Bob Huggins has representation from literally every era outside of Walsh College and Akron on this team. You've got DerMarr Johnson from the Cincinnati era. You got Ruoff from the Beeline into Huggins era. You've got McCabe from those teams about 7 years ago, up into the last couple of years when he was at UNLV, obviously. And then you have, obviously, Deshaun Butler from the 2010s. It's pretty wild, man. And then Ireland, he's from Kansas State, obviously, which is pretty cool, which makes it even cooler that he stayed so loyal to the program. And I think this is kind of like for Hugs. I think that's what they did here. Obviously, these are very capable coaches, not taking anything away from them. On the On the con side of things, it's a very young staff with very little experience. That includes Josh Eilert. You can say, playing the game, coaching the game, two different things, in my opinion. Obviously, these guys should still be playing, so they're more suited for coaching than playing, at least at the highest level. Nothing wrong with that. We're proud of them. We're glad to have them. I think DerMarr Johnson obviously has the NBA side of things covered. But overall, I think it's a great staff. I think it's a great blast from the past. Something to be really excited about for the future of the program. We're extremely young. We're going to be relatable. There's a lot to like about it. But there are concerns too. And I don't want to just because they're West Virginia guys, I don't want to not at least touch on some of those concerns.
Right, and I'll go there first if you want me to. Obviously, the age.
Sure.
I mean, the first one that sticks out to me, number one, you take the guy with the most experience of anybody, and that's Ron Everhart, and you actually demote him to a degree to a player personnel type role, and then you promote or hire Jordan McCabe, who's never coached in his life. So that one, I'm not saying it's a bad or a good move, but it's alarming a little bit, I guess. Most of the fan base had heard that McCabe was looking to become a grad assistant on the staff, even under Hugs. So for him to totally skip the GA role, I mean, because guys, remember, he just played last season. He just now graduated from UNLV. Okay, he just played. So for him to come straight from college as a player right into an assistant coach role at the Power 5 level with no GA experience or anything is a total surprise, and really nobody expected. Now, I kind of like the move because I think he'll be able to relate to today's players better than anybody else on that staff could, even because of his age and because he literally just left the college level, and he knows what it's like to play in the NIL era, the transfer portal era, that kind of. I mean, he's experienced it all. He's transferred.
Great point.
He's gotten NIL deals. He's done it all, but he's never coached on the floor. He's never had to game plan. He's never had to develop guys as far as, day in, day out, right? I mean, he's worked camps and those kind of things, but it's different, totally different deal here when you're doing it every single day. Can he do it? I absolutely think he can. But you know what? Here's the way I look at it. Josh Eilert, what's he got to lose, man? He has absolutely nothing to lose. It's an interim basis. He's either going to crash and burn or he's going to be fantastic. And I like the idea of having this many West Virginia guys on the staff. I am a little concerned,
but it has to work,
right? But it has to work, and I am a little concerned about the age, but I'm not worried about it. And here's one of the reasons why I'm not. And I said this to somebody on Twitter earlier. Is this team this year? This is basically a 1-year deal, right? For all these guys, they're coaching a bunch of veterans. I mean, there's guys on this team that might be as old as Jordan McCabe.
Or older. Jose Perez. Right? Jose Perez is right there with him in age.
Yeah. So that, obviously that sounds like it could be a concern, but here's what I said. These guys are veterans. Most of them are seniors or at least juniors on this roster for the most part. They've all got at least 1 to 2 years of college experience. Most of them have 3 to 4. It's not like you have to come in and teach the fundamentals that much. It's all going to be, these guys already know how to play the game. It's a matter of getting them to play together. And it's going to be a lot of managing egos, managing personalities, and that kind of thing, more so, in my opinion, than X's and O's because of the veteran group we have. That's why I don't think it's a huge concern to me. Now, I might be more concerned if this were long-term, and maybe it ends up being long-term at the end of the day, but as of right now, it's not. So I think just to manage this team this year, I think it'll work. Now, do you have any other concerns other than the age issue?
Concerns? Experience. The experience. I mean, there are plenty of younger guys that have experience coaching, because some of them get into it right out of college, and by the time they're 26, 27 years old, they're ready to step into a role nowadays. So, we've got guys, but I think, at the end of the day, I think Josh Eilert is saying, hey, if this is a 1-year thing, maybe he knows something we don't and thinks he'll be gone no matter what he does. Maybe this is for these kids to get them a year of experience at a top 20 program, and this is really good on the resume, no matter what happens, because the situation surrounding all this, even if they tank this year, even if for some reason this team is bad, every single person on the staff has an excuse going forward to an extent. Not a 100% pass, but especially it's like McCabe. He has little to no control over the wins and losses on the team. Some player development, sure. But at the end of the day, I think this team would probably be the same with or without a McCabe this year. Going forward, though, I think McCabe, I'm really excited about him, and here's why. He's already a star in the social media world, a literal star. He's got several thousand followers. I want to say into the hundreds of thousands across all his platforms. He came on to Three Guys Before the Game, and he is just one heck of a personality. And another thing about McCabe is, even though he had to transfer because of playing time, he can tell people firsthand how much he missed West Virginia University and why you shouldn't leave in this day and age. And I think that's going to be a big deal come down the line if he sticks around and people start to talk about maybe leaving. I'm sure he's probably somebody that can say, hey, listen, I've been there and I've done that. I'm just letting you know the grass isn't always greener. But I think he has the highest upside of anybody, including DerMarr Johnson, including Ruoff, even including Deshaun Butler. I think everything in this day and age in this area with social media and that presence been such a big deal. I think McCabe has in my opinion, the highest ceiling. I have a really good feeling about him, and he had such a good showing on Three Guys, and he's already doing well in the business world before he ever even came into this. At such a young age, he went to Vegas and profited off of just being in Vegas. I mean, he's really killing it.
Yeah, and the one thing that I don't know how many fans are aware of this, but one of our former players and former GAs, Juwan Staten. I want to talk about this for a minute. He put a tweet out the other day. Now he's already taken his tweet down, so I don't have it to show. But he basically sent out a tweet talking about how he was disappointed in West Virginia for not. I don't even think he got an interview, is the way I understand it. Now you correct me if I'm wrong.
Interesting.
Did he get an interview, or do you know?
I'm not aware. Honestly, to be honest with you, I heard about the tweet. I didn't want to look into it any further because I know I'd get upset because I like Juwan Staten a lot. And if he didn't get an interview, that would be something I'd be mad about. I think he deserved an interview. But I don't know the situation behind it. I don't know McCabe and those guys have been around. Deshaun's been around. Ruoff has definitely been around already for a year. And I don't know where Staten has been, and he may not have had any relationships built to maybe be really thought of for the interview thing or a job. Obviously, he's qualified. I don't think anybody would, especially as a player. But I don't know, unfortunately, if he was interviewed or not. If he wasn't, though, I think somebody missed out on somebody that I think he probably deserved it. But like I said, without knowing the behind the scenes and the why of it, like normal, I'm not sure.
Right, I get it. Nonetheless, he was upset that he didn't get the job. He felt like he deserved it, and
Yeah,
had the experience because Juwan Staten. So think about this: Juwan Staten has been a GA at West Virginia. He's coached at the college level. I think he's now a head coach at a high school somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, or something along those lines. So he has experience as a coach already, and they hired Jordan McCabe over him, who has no experience. So I could understand why he'd be upset because one of the reasons Josh Eilert gave is he for McCabe was because he played the point guard position and he could help develop guards. Well, Juwan Staten did too. So I'm shocked there as to why he did that, but I trust Eilert's judgment here. I don't have any ill will towards him for not hiring Staten, and maybe the fact Staten. And I saw somebody say this. Maybe the fact Staten was so upset publicly and he decided to bash him on social media. Maybe that's part of the reason they didn't do it. Maybe there's something there that's not a fit from a personality standpoint, or Eilert coached with Staten before. He was on the staff when Staten was the GA there.
It's a good point.
So he would know whether or not he was a fit in his opinion. And he's coached McCabe, and Deshaun Butler was a GA on the staff while Eilert was there. So he knows and has coached with or coached every one of these guys. right? He's coached
Yeah.
Staten. He's been on a staff with Staten. He's coached McCabe. He's coached Butler and been on a staff with Butler. So he knows them all. So he knows who's a fit and who's not a fit to do what he wants to do with the program. So I have no issue with him not hiring Staten, to be honest, because who am I as a fan to sit here and tell Eilert who he needs to hire and work with,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But it
He's
is,
already been dealt an unfair
yeah.
hand.
But if you look at it from a fan's perspective, I could see why it would be concerning. Hey, he had Juwan Staten over here. Why would he not hire him instead of McCabe? I get it, but maybe he just feels like McCabe's a better coach already than what Staten is. I don't know.
He's got such high upside. He really does. Jordan McCabe does.
Right.
Jordan McCabe is a name you will hear if he stays in coaching as a head coach someday. I'll call that right now. He's got the personality for it. He's already got proven himself worthy in the business world. He's already made a huge chunk of money off of his name, image, and likeness in the social media world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's without being a prominent college basketball player. He was not, he just wasn't a great college basketball player. And I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Doesn't mean he's not a great dude or can be a great coach. I just said I think he's going to be a head coach. I'm extremely high on Jordan McCabe. It'll come to fruition if he sticks around. You guys will see. You'll hear Jordan McCabe.
Absolutely, I agree. And he was basically a coach on the floor here for the Mountaineers.
Yeah,
for 3 years. So
94 games.
Right. But
he put the work in.
Yeah, here's I found the article while you were talking. I looked the article up, Paul, on Voice of Morgantown. It says former WU guard Juwan Staten is off and running in his coaching career. After serving as a grad assistant with the Mountaineers, the Ohio native accepted a job as the head coach of Flight Academy Prep in Dayton. As expected, Staten kept a close eye on the recent WU coaching search following the resignation of Bob Huggins. The school ultimately decided to go the interim route while promoting Josh Eilert. With the decision, there were assistant openings on the staff. And here is what says: while those were filled, Staten voiced his displeasure with not being interviewed, so he wasn't interviewed according to this, for any opening on Twitter. It says, to be former All-American, Big 12 preseason player of the year, two-time All-Big 12 first-team selection with grad assistant experience in the Big 12, with head coaching experience, and somehow can't get an interview at my alma mater for 4 different assistant openings is outrageous. And he put outrageous in all caps. He would continue, not to mention I was a finalist for 2 head coaching Division II jobs this offseason. I'm baffled. So
here's another thing to consider with this. Maybe Josh Eilert is thinking, okay, if I knock this thing out of the park good enough, maybe they'll take this interim tag off. Same reason Ron Everhart maybe was demoted is maybe the same reason you don't bring in a Juwan Staten, somebody that could possibly challenge you for this title that you want to keep. Just speculation, but it's just something to look at. Obviously, you don't want to bring somebody in who's a hot name or could potentially be one right in your own building. You might end up losing the job to him. They come next year. So, Juwan Staten comes in here and coaches up those point guards, and all of a sudden we go to the Final Four or something. It's just something to look at. I'm not saying that's why, but you try to speculate on reasons why.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe he wanted to keep his job or have some job security.
Yeah.
Or a personality thing.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to fit. He felt like McCabe was a better fit from a personality perspective on the staff. And maybe again, speculation, maybe he thinks McCabe's a better teacher of the game than what Staten is. I think it just all comes down to personal preference on Eilert's part, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
On who he wants to work with and who he thinks is the best fit to lead these young men. Doesn't mean Juwan Staten's a bad coach or even a bad person. It just means he doesn't think he's a fit for what he's trying to do. Maybe Staten's style of coaching is not fit for the kind of offense he wants to run. I don't know. I'm throwing out all these ideas as to why it may have been done the way it was done, but nonetheless, Staten has since deleted that tweet, so I'm sure he regretted sending it. But the way Twitter world works, I've done it before too. I've put out tweets I regretted, but unfortunately, somebody had already snapped a screenshot of it and quote tweeted it before I had a chance. So
yeah,
it stays out there. So. He probably didn't want to burn bridges, but and I guess I just helped him do that by reading it live on a YouTube show. But
Well, yeah, no, listen, it's not going to reach further than.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to bring the news and update
Absolutely.
everything, update our listeners on what's
So,
going on.
Jordan McCabe, just on his Instagram alone, 226,000 followers.
Right.
That, I'm telling you, in this day and age, visibility, being able to be seen, having that kind of platform is such a big deal these days. It really is.
Yeah, maybe that's why. But again, I hate to keep harping on this, but on the Staten thing, why not make Staten an assistant and make Jordan a GA? You know, I don't know. Again, maybe Jordan is that talented of a coach. Maybe Eilert sees the same thing in him that you're seeing. That he's going to be a superstar down the road, and he doesn't want to pass up an opportunity to have him on his staff.
He already is, man.
Yeah.
In the social media world, it's not everything.
Right. I meant superstar coach, but yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And to today's athlete, when as unfortunate it is for people like in mine and your era, at least I don't like this theory here or whatever you want to call it. This is the way things are today. However many followers you have, kind of speaks to certain things about you in this day and age, and kids especially look at that and will put you on a pedestal if you have a certain amount of followers on social media accounts.
Right.
And they're in the business of drawing kids to the university.
Right.
So
it matters. It absolutely matters, man. Why do you think schools go out and these athletic departments go out and hire social media people? That's all they do is to promote them on social media. I mean, that's pretty much every school has them now, at least every major school. So it's important. It's very important.
Yes.
Well, Paul, is there anything else you want to talk about as far as this staff and Eilert putting this staff together and anything else that's on your mind?
I just like it. I mean, and look, guys, I really do think this is them paying homage to Hugs a little bit. And he it seems so carefully chosen in certain ways, just different eras throughout his career. And I think that Bob Huggins has to be really happy with this staff like it is. And I wonder how Gordon Gee feels about it.
Yeah.
And I wonder, and I wonder if Eilert was given full reign to do whatever he wants on this. I was curious about that too.
I feel like he was. I mean, to me, if you look at this staff, I think it kind of shows that he was.
Yeah.
Because Ren Baker probably doesn't know most of these guys. I'm sure he's met them at some point or whatever, but probably doesn't know them. So it looks on the surface like he did. And I something funny I saw. I've seen a couple people tweet this out. This team could actually play scrimmage against our players and probably give them a game, if not beat them.
They'd beat them, yeah, because of DerMarr. DerMarr Johnson's the best player in that building.
The average age of this staff is like 40-some years old, man. It's crazy.
It's young.
Very young.
Maybe Raekwon Battle might be the best one-on-one player in the building now. Between him and DerMarr.
Eilert's 42. I think Johnson's 43. Somebody actually, I think it was Mike Ostie maybe or Ethan Bach, tweeted out the ages of each coach the other day. I mean, the oldest one I think was 43.
It was Ethan.
I think 43 was the oldest one, and that's DerMarr Johnson. So, I mean, McCabe's like 24, 25. Ruoff, I mean, they're all young, man. It's unprecedented, really. But I think Eilert did it on purpose. I think he had a reason behind it. I think he has a plan behind it, and a lot of it may just be able to be, with the transfer portal being such a big deal now. Maybe finding younger guys who can relate to players was high on his priority list.
Yeah, exactly. And if this staff has to be dismantled after this coming year, you're not uprooting anybody from somewhere they've been. He went ahead and gave Everhart and guys like that were on the staff. Now they can freely look for another job and not have to worry about maybe if they're in the running for this job or if they need to keep their roots where they are. The guys that were on staff that were let go can obviously they're already free to go do what they want. And the kids that are on the staff now, it's not like they have to go buy a house in Morgantown, and then after this year, you'll have an answer.
Right. Exactly. And let's not forget the importance of keeping Jay Kuntz on the staff. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that.
Yeah. Yeah,
the guy who's
might be
been basically the biggest piece of getting this transfer class.
He's got more work to do.
And yeah, so keeping him was a huge piece to this. And I think, like I said, we'd be remiss if we didn't say kudos for doing that. And I think we obviously all expected him to keep him, but the fact that it's
With a
actually
pay raise.
Yeah, I don't know about that now. Maybe he did. I didn't. I haven't.
I
seen
think
the
you
numbers.
earned it.
Haven't
Right,
seen the
I'm
numbers,
just.
but yeah. Oh, absolutely. Speaking
You
of that,
earned
did you
that.
see Eilert's salary went from 180,000 to 1.5 million?
Yeah, he times 10.
Pretty nice
You
bump.
went a
Right?
little times 10 action there.
Hey,
How would you like to be making 6 figures a year and get that times 10?
Oh, that's crazy, man. But the thing is, knowing he gets an interim position, he can't just, he can't go on a big spending spree, right? He's got to.
Right.
That salary could drop back down into 6 figures again in 10 months, basically.
Yeah. Take it and buy you a nice house,
Yeah. But listen, guys, I don't think we have a whole lot left to talk about when it comes to this staff. We just kind of want to get you guys our thoughts. We ask that if you haven't yet, please hit the thumbs up button, give us a like here. Please comment, let us know your thoughts about this staff that Josh Eilert has assembled at West Virginia basketball, and then also subscribe to the channel, guys. It's very important to us. You've gotten us over 1,000. Next is 2,000. Help us get there by subscribing, and also if you subscribe, it'll notify you of future uploads, and also when we decide to go live, it'll let you know that as well in advance. And guys, don't forget to go check out DutchMillerAuto.com. Go check out our sponsor for the show here for your next vehicle purchase. We appreciate those, Chris Miller and the folks over there, for supporting us here on the channel and on our other channels too, Mountaineer Paul Talks Football and Couz's Corner. With that being said, guys, thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you. This show is over, and we are out.